We are really starting off now. It is the month of March and I have a lot of seeds to sow. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. March is the month of tomatoes and I have 4 different varieties of tomatoes I want to try this time. First is a normal bush tomato that has not become that tall. It is a determinate variety. This is a variety that I've been growing on my balcony since more than 2 years. I have a cocktail tomato variety, a yellow tomato, and also a bigger tomato variety like the beef steak tomato. It's called Aunt Ruby's German green. So yeah, these are the varieties I'll be trying on my space this time. I'm following the same process as I do every year. Sow a few seeds in the sowing medium, press them to 1 centimeter deep and cover it with some soil. Tomatoes should be started right now as they need a longer cultivation period. They will be planted out after the last frost date by mid of May. Before that, they'll have to be pricked and transplanted to bigger containers. Next, I'm going to try some onions. This is the first time I'm growing onions on my space. I have a red onion variety and a spring onion. I'm growing them mainly for companion planting. Many vegetable crops like the company of onions by their side because they can repel a lot of pests. Some of you ask me where I buy seeds from. I get from a variety of spaces, from the local garden center to some online stores. I'll link some of them down below. But if you're a beginner, I would suggest not to waste much time and money on seeds, but instead source them from the local garden center. Next are the peas. I'm starting a small batch now, and the next batch will be sown next month, probably directly outside. Sowing the seeds at regular intervals will ensure continuous harvest from the garden. It's also time to start some crops from the brassica family. First is one of my favorite and one of the easiest brassicas to grow, that is the kohlrabi. I have 2 varieties of it. One is this green one called the Landro, and the other one is a pink one called the Azure Star. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. I'm really looking forward to the purple variety. Both the varieties are ideal for container gardening as they don't need much space. Next, I'm sowing some cauliflower. One is from India, which I brought back from the vacation, and another one is locally sourced from here. Let's see how different they'll be. I'm also sowing red cabbage variety this month. Next month, I'll sow the green one so that there'll be 2 harvests with 1 month gap, hopefully. I've not grown cauliflower and cabbage till now. This will be my first time. It was fun growing some broccoli last year, and I want to try this time too. Last year it was attacked by white cabbage mothworm. This time I'll be covering them to protect them from these insects. Next are some flowers. I'm starting some petunia seeds. These seeds are the leftovers from last year. Calendula and also some snapdragons indoors. I'm also sowing some holy basil or tulsi. These are the seeds from 2020. I had a tulsi growing on my balcony and had saved some seeds from it. Last year, it was not a success growing them as I did not give it much care, even though they germinated. This year, I want to try again. If you had seen my February sowing video, you know that we started some chilies and eggplants. Unfortunately, the germination rate was very low. 2 of the bird's eye chili and 1 green chili sprouted. The rest did not sprout at all. Last month we moved to a new place and got really busy with the moving and packing, so I was not able to maintain the soil medium evenly moist all the time. So this could be one reason why it did not germinate. But to ensure that and find out the real reason why it did not germinate, I'm starting a new batch this month. I know it's late for chilies, but let's try. It's time to prick the chili varieties that has already sprouted, so I'll be doing that now. I'm moving it to individual pots and giving it more space to grow. Those were the seeds I started indoors. Now let's move outdoors. I'm starting 2 varieties of spinach. One is a normal green one, which we also grew last year on the balcony, and the other one is a purple one, which I brought back from my vacation in India. So I'm really curious to know how they turn out. Next, I'll be starting 2 varieties of carrots. One is a long variety, which we also grew last year. This one took more than 4 months on my shaded balcony to completely grow. The second variety is a mini carrot variety. It is supposed to be thick and a bit round in shape. spring sowing is not complete without starting radish. And this is like an annual vegetable for me. I eat it only because I grew. I'm not a big fan of radish, but I like growing them and therefore I eat them. If you are sowing outdoors, make sure that the seeds are protected from the frost. I'm covering the beds with a fleece because the temperature falls below 0 degree at nights. I'm also starting some lettuce and arugula, but in a different way this time. Have you heard of winter sowing? It is getting more and more popular these days. The principle of winter sowing is sowing the seeds in a mini greenhouse and leaving them out in the cold winters even if it is snowing outdoors. The seeds will sprout when the conditions are ideal for it. It is too late for winter sowing now because it's already spring. Inspired from this idea, I'm sowing some lettuce and arugula in this container. They are light germs, so I'm not covering them with any soil. Slightly press them and water it. I'm covering it in a plastic cover and place them outdoors in the cold. As I said, the nights are still cold here. Let's see how it will do in the cold. If it is a success, I'll be sowing more veggies next year in a similar manner because it really saves a lot of indoor space. If you find this video interesting, you might also like the video on the basics of sowing seeds and also some mistakes that I did while sowing seeds in the past. I'm also curious to know if you started growing something else other than what I mentioned in this video. Comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next. Bye and take care.